I want to thank everyone for joining us today. My name is Vincent Gregory. I'm a state senator here. I represent the city of Southfield, Lathrop Village, and I represent 10 other communities in the 11th district. I'm joined here today by some of my colleagues, State Senator Steve Beta, State Representative Christine Gregg, State Representative Jeremy Moss, and State Representative Robert Wittenberg. Today, House and Senate Democrats are announcing a defining package of bills to strengthen Michigan's middle class and reverse one of the largest tax shifts in Michigan's history. Those tax cuts take money from families and give it to the corporations. Our plan, called the Blueprint for Michigan's Families, puts ordinary Michigan families first and makes addressing the problems faced by Michigan families our continued priority. Our plan takes aim at what is called the middle class squeeze that so many families in Michigan are facing. Rising costs on one hand and stagnant incomes and increased taxes on the other. Instead of raising taxes on families so corporations can pay less, as Republicans have done, our plan refocuses and extends tax credits and deductions where they count on raising a family, paying for a college education, and rewarding hard work. Under our plan, a family of 4 with 2 working parents and 2 school-age children could easily save over $1,500 per year, helping cover costs for kids for child care, repairs on a home, or saving money for college education. Our plan says that putting money back into the hands of Michigan's family is right for Michigan and for Michigan's economy. It's a better strategy for building a stronger Michigan than Republicans' plan of giving out more and more tax cuts for corporations, all paid for by working people. Our plan says that when more families can join the middle class and stay there, it creates an environment that attracts more talented people to the state, people who will work and spend their money here in Michigan, growing our economy. Now I'd like to introduce State Senator Steve Beta, who will talk more about the specifics of the plan. Senator?
Thank you, Senator. My name is Steve Beta. I represent the 9th District in the State Senate. That encompasses the cities of Warren, Centerline, Roseville, Fraser, Clinton Township, and East Point. I'm thrilled that the House and Senate have come together to offer this very comprehensive package that will protect Michigan's middle class from an onslaught of some ill-advised tax cuts to the corporate sector. People have felt this huge shift in the tax burden. In fact, they often tell me that they feel like they got the shaft in the last couple of years of how things have been hitting them. As legislators and representatives of the state, we should be making it easier for Michiganders to live and work in our state. Our plan rewards the people who have worked, and it will make Michigan an excellent place to live because it invests in people. Our critics believe our plan will hurt businesses that are creating jobs. We disagree. The best way to keep our economy moving forward is to help people achieve their goals and enjoy the retirement that they've worked so hard for. Because it's not just college students and families who need extra assistance. Retirement these days doesn't mean easy living for many seniors. People living on fixed incomes suffer when rising taxes and costs of living eat into their hard-earned savings. Our plan would give residents 65 and older a senior deduction, exempting the first $2,300 of income from taxation, helping them cover the cost of basic expenses and health care. We want families who choose to make Michigan their homes to know that they'll be able to live here for the rest of their lives. Some of the statistics in the year 2000, the median income in Michigan was $61,500. By 2013, it was down to $48,000, a drop of almost 25%. This is a pretty dramatic change from a state that really put the middle class on the map. This is a major blow for families working to make ends meet and keep a roof over their heads and to raise their children. Instead of helping ordinary Michigan families, Republicans orchestrated the largest tax shift in Michigan history, and it took away from people trying to raise a family. Now that, frankly, is simply wrong. We should be trying to make it easier to raise a family and to send their kids to school, not harder. And we should be helping parents that get up every day and go to work so their kids can have a better future. The first part of our plan targets the rising costs of raising a family by not only restoring tax cuts to Michigan families, but expanding them. Our plan creates a new per child tax credit of $400 each child, age 13 and younger, and then families that earn less than $100,000 a year. And for families with 2 children, it could mean $800 in savings that could go a long way towards helping raise a family. Our plan also creates a tax credit to help offset the cost of child care or caring for an elderly parent. Caring for dependents is expensive, especially if both parents are working and dependent care is necessary. We are seeing the cost of providing care is going up and not down. Taken together, these credits will help Michigan families that are working to do the right thing for their children or the loved ones to cover basic costs and help reverse one of the largest tax shifts in Michigan history. It's now my pleasure to introduce Representative Christine Gregory, which will say more about the plan.
Thank you, Senator DeVita. Good afternoon. I'm Christine Gregg. I'm representing Farmington and Farmington Hills in House District 37, and I'm pleased to be here today to share with you another part of our important plan. Owning your home is central to the American dream and a cornerstone in building and expanding the middle class. We want more people to put down roots in Michigan and raise a family here. And we want people who retire here to be able to keep and maintain their homes. Unfortunately, under the tax shift that Senator DeVita described, tax credits that help people own their own homes were cut. Michigan families who worked hard to own their own homes suddenly were paying more taxes so that others could pay less. That's not right, that's not fair, and it should not continue. Our plan would not only restore but also expand the homestead property tax credit to a threshold of $100,000, up from the current limit of $50,000. This means that middle-income households could see a tax cut of up to $1,200 per year. For Michigan homeowners who worked hard to achieve that American dream and put down roots here in Michigan, that extra $1,200 per year means saving a little more for retirement, putting away money for their kids' education, or covering needed repairs. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Representative Jeremy Moss.
Thank you, Representative Gregg. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm State Representative Jeremy Moss. I represent the 35th House District, which is right here in Southfield. And we know as we stand here at Oakland Community College that a college education is central toward building a stronger and growing middle class. And that adage is probably more true today than at any other time that it's ever been. But it's no secret that paying for a college education is a major financial hardship for middle class and working families. And it's no secret that Michigan as a state has done a terrible job in keeping the costs down. In-state tuition and fees have gone up 89% in inflation-adjusted dollars in just the last 10 years. And as incomes have declined and the cost of higher education is on the rise, the chance that young people in our state will go to college and will find careers that will keep them in the middle class becomes increasingly unlikely. For many Michigan families, college tuition is simply unaffordable unless they opt for college loans that can take years to pay off and add to their financial burden. So our failure to make education more affordable has ramifications on many levels. First, those who turn out and seek student loans, they're often hit with enormously high interest rates on those loans, whose monthly bills are too high to begin with. And second, it is vital for our state to have more people who go to college or trade school if we want to attract those good-paying jobs and industries to Michigan. And it is critically important that when people complete their degrees that they're not saddled with so much debt. So we must find a way to help every young adult graduate from college or from a trade school, get a job, and help our state attract the industries that we need to lead the way into the 21st century. The Blueprint for Michigan's Families targets this issue by providing a college loan income tax credit of up to 50% the amount paid on state and federal higher education loans for any employed Michigan resident. That means that as young people start their careers and families but are struggling to pay off their college loans, they would see a credit of up to $2,150 per year to help pay off that loan much faster. So if Michigan wants a strong middle class and wants to attract cutting-edge, good-paying jobs, we have to address this very real challenge in our state. Our plan does this. And now, State Representative Robert Wittenberg will wrap up the introduction of our plan today.
Thank you, Representative Moss. I am State Representative Robert Wittenberg, representing 7 wonderful communities here in southern Oakland County. And when the middle class does well, everyone does well. 4 years ago, Republicans lost sight of this fact. Instead of working with Democrats to build a stronger middle class, they orchestrated one of the largest tax shifts in Michigan history. This tax shift raised taxes on Michigan families by $1.6 billion and gave away all of that and more to corporations, nearly $2 billion in all. As a result, about 95,000 Michigan businesses no longer pay state taxes on their revenue. In fact, in 2014, corporate income tax receipts contributed next to nothing to the cost of schools, roads, police, and fire. Republicans raised taxes even as people's incomes declined and benefits were cut. This was not only wrong, it doesn't work. Republicans promised that if we cut corporate taxes to almost zero, jobs would be created and incomes would rise. But in truth, the exact opposite has happened. Job growth slowed dramatically by 26% from 2010, the year before the tax cuts were made, to 2013. And there's no reason tax cuts should continue when the promised jobs don't materialize. And there's no reason tax cuts should go to oil companies or companies that outsource our jobs. Our plan would take $1 billion of what corporations unfairly received at the expense of Michigan families, about half of all the tax cuts they received, and give it back to Michigan families. Our plan to strengthen the middle class is the right thing to do. It restores fairness and establishes the foundation for a stronger middle class and a stronger economy.